day one of the sickle cell challenge, and it's supposed to, the question is, what is sickle cell? So I have explained this to y'all before, but here we go again. Sickle cell disease is a blood disorder that affects a lot of people, like a lot, where a person who doesn't have it has regular blood cells, moon-shaped. The person with sickle cell has sickle-shaped blood cells. And once it gets, in a sickle-shaped crescent moon, our blood flows way different to where it'll get caught in one of our veins and cause us to be in a lot of pain. When it gets caught like that, it sends us into a crisis. It causes pain in the bones, and it's because the blood isn't flowing the way that it's supposed to. It makes it like, okay, ladies, best way to put it, imagine being in labor, especially if you have had a painful labor and wasn't able to take that pain. But imagine being in labor, for those of you who have children. Imagine being in labor, no epidural, and imagine that pain 1,000 times worse. Fellas, if you have ever, like, I don't know what other way to put this. Imagine breaking a bone, and that pain when you break a bone, if you have ever broken a bone, imagine that pain 1,000 times worse. That's the type of pain that we go through. What else? What is sickle cell? We have to live our lives completely different than what other people do. How people who don't have sickle cell, they can hydrate, and as they say, 8 cups of water a day is what you're supposed to have to stay healthy, blah blah blah. We would have to do 16 cups a day just for us to be cool. When it's hot outside, we can't be outside because it can cause us to go into a crisis. When it's cold outside, we can't be outside because it can cause us to go into a crisis. When it rains, it can cause us to go into crisis. Overexertion can cause us to go into crisis. Grown-up time, because there's kids to watch this, grown-up time can cause us to go into crisis. Exhaustion causes us to go into crisis. So we could be having a normal day to where it was a relaxation day, and say it was 80 degrees outside, and we're just sitting there relaxing, even being in the house under the AC, so as not to get too hot. And we decide to go, we end up having to go to the bathroom. So we get up to walk down the steps or down the hall or whatever, just, to go use the bathroom. And mind you, you've rested, everything's fine. That quick, we can end up in a pain crisis. This is like nothing to joke about. And a lot of people think that only black people get sickle cell disease. That, I can tell you, is not true at all. If y'all look it up, you will see everywhere it originated. It originated during the times of malaria. So it started parts of Europe, Africa, and, as they put it, Middle East, which doesn't fucking make sense. The Middle East isn't, like, the fuck is the Middle East? But anywho, there are different forms of sickle cell, like different traits. You got SS, which is what I have, SC, SA, AA, TA. There's a version called thalassemia, which is basically the white people version of sickle cell disease. There are other ones too, but I can't remember all of them. Just make sure, because there's people who I know who went their whole life being okay and became adults and got diagnosed with sickle cell disease, sickle cell anemia. Pay attention. Eat healthier. Take care of yourselves. If it runs in your family, and even if it's not the disease, it could be just the trait. Pay attention. There's a way that we can stop people from being born with it. And I know for a fact there are cures for sickle cell disease without having to go through all this extra. But, you know, yeah, y'all know. But this was my explanation on what is sickle cell disease. This was day 1 of the sickle cell challenge. Enjoy y'all day, my beautiful souls.